So it's a Friday night. What are you planning on doing?
You are now listening to Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. Let's get into it.
Episode 105, Limited Trust, a Devastator podcast. I am in a much better overall fucking mood today than I have been. And I just got home from doing a fucking ball joint, my first ever actual mechanic fucking work, aside from changing a bulb and a fucking headlight. And that's rough. Stevie had to talk me through the whole thing because his hand is fucked up. And when we were done, I said that shit took 3 fucking hours. I said, how many could you have got done? You know, he said I could have done all 4 in this amount of time. But it was him basically just fucking walking me through it, using all these fucking tools and shit I never used before. So thank you, sir. I'm sorry it took so excruciatingly long. In some bad recent weird and recent news turn of events, a real close friend of the family, she fucking died randomly. She was 43 years old. Shout out to Jamie. I can't even, I could tell you guys to go, I don't know. I would feel fucked up if I said go listen to this shit, but anyway. And Jamie was a friend of my mom's, my aunt, my sister, my cousin, my whole family. And back in the fucking day, hold on one second. Oh, when I wasn't old enough to buy alcohol yet, she would fucking buy alcohol for me. But she had this weird thing where, if she was buying, if we were hanging out, her, my cousin, myself, if she was, she almost felt like she controlled the situation if she was buying. So I had money, so she could never really control the outcome of the fucking evening. You know, does that make sense? So it was this weird fucking dynamic hanging out with her. She was nice, you know, to my mom, my aunt and all them, you know, but to me, it was this weird, because we were close in age, you know, for years. Well, not for years, but we were close in age. You know, I just turned 38 2 days ago, or whenever the fuck it was. I don't remember when. Wednesday. Yeah, 2 days ago. So so she was 43, I'm fucking 38. So 38, 39, 44, so she was about 5 years older than me. But so she didn't really like hanging out with me because I didn't fall victim to that fucking, you know, she's buying dinner, she's buying this, she's buying that. You buy dinner if you want. If you don't want to, I'll buy the motherfucker, you know what I mean? So we always had kind of a weird relationship like that. And then I remember one time she was house sitting for these people, watching their dog and all this shit. So she scoops up me, my cousin Amanda, her boyfriend, and we fucking went back to this house. And we got pizza, and I got fucking lit. Everyone had a good time. Everyone was drinking, fucking having a good time. Next day, fucking, you know, we left. Everyone left, fucking. And so months later, she's fucking with Ticket, with Big Tick. and now they're dating. And or maybe it's probably a year later, probably about the same time. And she is... the people asked her to do the house sitting again. So she kind of does the same thing, except for my cousin doesn't come this time. It's her, Tick's niece, who at the time, if I was 18 or 19, she was 13 or 14. She was cool. And so her and Tick like scurried off into these poor people's fucking bedroom. And they left me with Jesse. I'm 18, 19, fucking I'm ready to party. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? So it was like basically they like stuck me babysitting. So me and Jesse, we just started rummaging through all this shit in these people's basement, all these like baseball card collections. And it was like the rule was like smoking outside. I just started smoking through the whole house. I was fucking flicking beer caps all over the place. I can only imagine they must have been finding beer caps for years after that, because I drank all the fucking beer and I was out of beer, and it was like, I don't know, it was still early. I wasn't ready for bed. So I like went out into their garage and took their they had like an 18 pack of Yingling, and I fucking took that. I started drinking that. She was so the next day I was ashing all over the place. I was a total fucking asshole, but I was pissed, man. Like, we were supposed to be hanging out, having a good fucking time. And then they bounce and fucking, it was like fucking annoying to me. It was annoying, and I was like upset. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I was like, last time we had this good time. Everyone was drinking, partying, listening to music, fucking talking shit. And then this time you guys fucking go disappear off. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, fuck it. So I was like a total animal. It was like an asshole thing to do, really. But I was pissed, and I still don't give a fuck. But anyway, those are like some fucking funny memories I had with her. And then when she started, I set her and Ticket up as a joke. I was like, yo, here, Tick, fuck, call her up. And then the next time I went over there, because I spent so much time over there, next thing you know, she's there and they're like dating, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is like my hangout spot, This is my fucking chill spot. This is where I come to get the fuck away from shit. And now and then she ended up moving in. It was like a big fucking deal. And it like caused a lot of fucking issues. And it was all supposed to be a joke, but whatever. But anyway, she fucking just died. Like fucking, and her family refused to get an autopsy, which is weird at fucking 43 years old. And because the medical examiner said natural causes, and she wasn't she wasn't like the healthiest person by any stretch of the fucking imagination. But very weird, very and my family's real upset, and I feel bad for them. And I actually kind of felt bad because I wasn't more upset. But dude, I haven't seen her since I was old enough to buy my own alcohol, really. So what, 21, fucking 31? I don't know. I haven't seen her in fucking probably almost 16, 17 years. So I don't know. I feel bad. I know her. We hung out and shit. And I know that she meant a lot to my family. But, they're really upset about it. And I kind of felt bad that I was like, it sucks. It sucks. I'm not like, oh, ha, ha, ha. It sucks. But it was unexpected. It sucks. She was real young. But... I don't know. I guess these are just kind of things that people deal with differently, Some people, I guess, I got to say, if it was somebody else, if it was someone a little closer, I'd be highly distraught, like the last few deaths that I've had to fucking deal with. So that was like the latest fucking news, or the latest news, whatever. I started kind of the rebranding of the standard damage fluid. I took it off. It's not available on the. Oh, you know what? Now I just thought about it. I only made the mops not available. I gotta make everything not available. I gotta rewrite everything, and I gotta actually kind of dial in the fucking plan of what I'm gonna do, because I think it's gonna be black, white, and silver, or black, red, and silver, or black and silver. I'm not sure. I want a dark and a light, and then the silver is just nasty. So I kind of want to just keep that because of how well it does work. But I think like the orange, the yellow, the blue. I haven't really had the blue for a while, but the blue, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do, but I really think I might narrow it down to just a couple. And it's going to be more, I don't want to say specialty product, but it's going to be more of a specific product for one night out kind of shit, and you throw it in the fucking garbage when you're done. Because I've had people, like over the years, there's just been too much of a learning curve on that, and having to fucking educate people all the time on what exactly to do. It's just, I think it's better that way. And I really want to focus more on alcohol. I really like the results. I like making it. I like, and maybe I can increase the palate of the alcohol. Is what I would like to do. But I don't fucking know. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna see what the fuck going on though. So that's about it. And if I can expand that palette of the alcohol, maybe we could do that. If I could get a blue and a green or something. But alcohol is different. It's tough. Alcohol is an entirely different procedure, and the ingredients are more finicky and every. I don't want to say more precise because I weigh and measure everything anyway, but it's more like if the standard damage fluid is off a couple, like 0.2 ounces, and then the cut is 0.2 ounces, it doesn't really change anything. It's not gonna fucking affect it. But but those changes in alcohol, you're gonna notice a difference, and I've fucking realized that. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, good enough. It's got to be on. Especially when you want it to be consistent. Like, you can keep consistency with a tolerance of a few ounce or few tenths of an ounce in either direction with the standard, but the alcohol, it seems that it's got to be a little bit tighter. And I still deal with all this fucking dumb shit. Anytime I post a fucking picture of the fucking of the basement, mixing or whatever, it's always motherfuckers in. Yo, what about this? What about this? Potassium permanganate. Blah 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 blah. Dude, ask fucking Club Ghoul, ask fucking Rax Inc. Yo, that potassium permanganate or whatever the fuck it's called, that shit will ignite. You will explode. You will create a pressure explosion. There's all kinds of fucking shit that can happen. I don't know why people constantly want to fuck with that shit. I don't, because they read it on all those forums and they're like, oh, oink, blah, blah. Let it go, dog. Oink is gone. Let it the fuck go. Go buy it from that dickhead in Canada. He's got fucking 4 bottles left that he sucked somebody off for or whatever the fuck. Go buy it from Hit the Street. Go suck his dick. I don't know. Fuck that shit. The guy was nice to me and shit, but it's gone, and he wrapped it up. So that's it. So stop comparing everything to Oink. Stop comparing everything to fucking, oh, no, the Garvey, the blah, 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 blah. Dude, this is what's out there, dog. Fucking get it rocking. And all this shit is great, and there's so many. Now there's, I think it was it had a stranglehold on shit because what really was there, aside a couple of tiny fly-by-night kind of operations, but there was like Oink, fucking Crink. I think that Witch's Brew was kind of moving around. I don't know. But I don't think the options were as plentiful as they are today, because it kind of rolls back to everybody wants to be the fucking Ink Man. And so a lot of people, and man, I compare everything to the pizzeria I worked at too. Every time I eat pizza, every time I try some meat sauce, every time I try whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, that shit's no good. That shit's alright, but it's not like fucking Piazzas, so maybe that's where everyone's kind of stuck in that nostalgia, where maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't know. Who knows? But it fucking gets frustrating sometimes, and people are just, I don't know why. I'm not really sure, and I don't know why I let it get to me, because it's not new. It fucking happens all the time. I'm just fucking tired of hearing about this shit. Yeah. So I was thinking about, with fucking Jamie dying and shit, it made me think about like all like old times fucking drinking and shit. And I remember I don't even really know how this whole party deal. There was some kind of party at my aunt's shop, and because they just sold it. It's been there 60 years, and they just sold it. And that, like, it's weird not having. This is why we're doing a fucking ball joint at my mother's house, not up on the lift, and not at the shop, because it's gone. And I never really, I lived my entire fucking 38 years not having to worry about that. I fucking pull in, call Donna, what the fuck? You got time for me today? For whatever. So I gotta read. There's a lot of shit I gotta fucking rethink and try to figure out or start learning. But there was a party that was at the shop, and I wish I could remember the details. It was summertime. It was nice out, and I remember it was like winding down. And in the shop in my mother's house is an hour away. It's an hour drive. And I don't know how what the discussion was. I think the party at the shop was winding down. It was done. I don't remember what the occasion was. But then it's like a bunch of people showed up, right then when they were like, all right, well, it's probably about this time to start packing it up. So in like this rare thing that happened, it only happened a few times, and they were always fucking real good. They said, fucking bring it out to the fucking farm. And I was shocked at the amount of people that rolled out to my fucking mom and Steve's, and at the time, my house. There was like, I don't know, 10, 11 cars with numerous amounts of people that rolled out of this party, drove a fucking hour west to the country, and that shit just kicked off again. And I remember, because that was in my heyday of like fucking straight alcoholism, dude. I never wanted the party to end. So when things like that would happen, in any case, it was always like I was so fucking happy. Like I can almost feel the joy right now telling this story that I felt then. Like, when the party's about to be over and really there's like no saving it, and you're like, fuck, damn, all right, yeah, it was a good time. It's time to go, time to be done. And it's almost depressing, when people are leaving, people you're just having a good time with. But then these couple occasions, man, where that shit just kicked back off, whoo, that was a good time, boy. And this was one of them. And fucking, I ended up riding with Jamie, and I don't even remember who there was. She had like the fuck was it? When Geo Metro turned into Chevy? Was it a Chevy Metro? I don't fucking know. She had something like that. Or it was something like a car like that. And it was me, her, and I couldn't even tell you. It was full though. And we ended up stopping at a Wegmans that's not there anymore, getting beer. Fucking went out to there. It went to my mom's, and it was just mad people there, and I was all fucked up. So I don't really know why I'm reliving this in such a glorious way of just a night when I was drinking, but it made me think about like these kind of weird times that were fun, And I don't know if everyone just grew up, because shit, man. I mean, even my mom and everyone, they were in their 40s at the time, because this is probably, no. Yeah, I mean, I bet this was 20 years ago. So yeah, they were in their 40s, everyone was like ready to fucking rock and roll. And all these other people that showed up there too, even multiple people are dead that were at these little things. It happened a couple of times too. I'm trying to think of this other shit. I don't know if I talked about it here before, but my fucking graduation party at my mom's house was 4 fucking days. Boy, that shit was long. Or no, 3 days. It started on a Friday, and then it went to fucking Sunday. And it wasn't supposed to. It wasn't like some planned thing. It just like kept rolling, and people were like staying the night and then fucking waking up Saturday, and it was like, let's get it fucking rocking. And then people would talk to one another, and then more people would show up Saturday, and people were like, yeah, come through. And it just like, some people came back several times. It was fucking crazy. That was a good ass fucking time. I remember my Uncle Larry was throwing up fucking clams in the driveway, and he used to drink, boys. He was drinking for some reason. He never drank Jack Daniels, like never. He was always drinking Bacardi. That's how I got the taste for Bacardi, was fucking fucking taking his Bacardi. And he fucking, I remember he was fucking throwing up like whole clams. I remember looking, going, oh shit. We're all like sitting in the middle, because my mom and I got a long driveway. It's real long. And he was just sitting, we were all sitting in these chairs. And I'm just, and this whole time I'm on probation, right? So everyone's like constant, like it's almost like an unspoken rule to like keep an eye out for fucking probation to show up. And there's been plenty of times where they would show up at the house and I just wouldn't answer. It's on this one time. So I was alone. There was nobody home. And I thought I heard knocking at the door. And I'm up in my room at my mom's house. I'm looking out. I don't see anybody. I don't see any cars. I go to the normal like lookout spots at the front of the house, back of the house. I don't fucking see any cars. So I walk down the fucking stairs, right? Just to kind of look. And I step out of the stairwell. It's like a stairwell that's enclosed on either side. You know what I mean? So as soon as you step out, you can turn right, and you could see the front door through like a dining room in an old farmhouse. So I came down the stairs and looked right, and I looked right out on the front porch, and no one used the front porch. Like no one used the front door. It was just never in use. Like it was almost designed so you went to the back. Like there was no footers or anything like that leading to the front. You know, it was like grass up to the front porch and shit. So it's kind of, because we didn't use that fucking door anyway. So I remember looking, and we had like one of those this is just like a curtain, like a real wispy kind of curtain, because it was a big window door. You know, it was big, had a big ass fucking window. Still has a big window. And I remember looking through, and I could see the 3 fucking probation officers, and I was like, fuck. And I like took a step back up, and I was like, and all of a sudden I started panicking. I was like, fuck, did they see me? Did they fucking see me? So I'm waiting. I didn't know what to do. My heart's beating. Fuck. I said, I gotta go to the door. What if they saw me? Then they'll say it was a refusal and all this shit. So I opened the fucking door, and I don't know why this was such a bad move. In my room, in my fucking stupid room, I remember I had, I don't know, there had to be 70, 80 fucking beer cans, and they were all stacked in the middle of the fucking room. And because I never really would let it get that bad, but apparently I did, because there it was. And I opened the door. I'm like, hey, you know, how's it going? So at this time, we had just knocked off the back end of the house. The back end of the house was like built in the early 1800s. It was fucking real old, and what they did was they built that first, and then when they could afford to build the front part of the house, the main house, then they built that. So the front part of the house was older than the back part of the house. So the back part had to come down, and the addition, I don't even know if it was framed yet. I don't think it was. No, it was framed. It was framed because we walked from there, and that's when the guy looked. Anyway, so I go and tell. I open the door. I'm like, hey, oh yeah, good. Take a breathalyzer right at the door. I haven't been drinking. I had a very, very strict routine when it came to drinking, and because of probation. Yep, blue, boom, I'm good. Okay. And normally, what they would do is they would do that. And then they would bounce. They would just check. I'm here. I blew. I'm good. Pause. And then they would leave. But they had an extra. Usually always they were 2, but there was 3 this time. So it must have been like a training deal, which it was, because there was the main head lady. Then there was my probation officer. Then there was a dude, Matt, who ended up being my probation officer afterwards. He was like the fucking best. And so I didn't know him at the time. He was just this other guy. And I'm like, fuck. So they're like, do you mind if we, you know, have a little walk around? And I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, I can't say no. Maybe I could have. I don't know. So they're walking through the house. I'm shook, son. they fucking go in the kitchen. There is an literally old ass 12-pack of empty Labatt Blue bottles that's like underneath the fucking kitchen counter, tucked off to the side, that my Uncle Larry drank who the fuck knows how long ago, and put them in there and then slid them off. And that's just kind of where they were. They were like tucked in. And they're like, whose beer is that? And I was like, huh? And under there, I go, oh, I don't know. It's my uncle's. They're all empty. Oh, okay. So they're walking through. Okay, I go, yeah. This is where I'm sleeping. I showed them the couch, and this is here. This is there. Okay, all right. We're just we made a loop in the house. We're just walking by the stairwell. And I watched his fucking eyes look up. And as soon as he looked up the stairwell, all that flashed in my mind was how fucked up my room was. There was no mistaking that I lived in that room. And there was all just beer cans stacked. It was in fucking ashtrays full of fucking cigarettes. It was rough. It was the worst it had ever been right then at that day. And I remember he looked up and he said, "What's up there?" And I said, my mother and father's room and my sister's room. And they looked at me and I said, my room was on the back half of the house that got torn off. That's why I'm sleeping on the couch. And he was looking and he said, oh, okay. And then suddenly they walked to the front door and they were out. Whoo! I don't even know how the fuck I came up with that fast. I had said it before because I knew I just didn't want them going up there. But I thought that it was where, when we first walked through, I was like, yep, this is where I've been staying. Ha ha ha. And obviously they didn't really pick up on that and what the fuck was going on. Because like I had to shut it down right then or I was fucked. And right then I was like, what am I going to say? I just had to say, oh yeah, somebody else lives here. They rent that room. Just, whatever. I don't even fucking know. So that was like super fucking close call. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. I felt like a close call. but who knows? There was some definite quick thinking on my part. Probation was whack, son. That shit was whack as fuck. But you know what was good though is that I was so fucking easygoing and non-problematic that every time like they hired a new officer, and it kind of sucked for me because every time I would build like a rapport with somebody, they would hire somebody new and then I would get transferred to them. So I think they gave the people like easy people to get them broken in. They would give. So then they gave me a few more weeks. They got rid of the other guy who kind of broke my balls a lot. They didn't get rid of him. He got rid of me and gave me to the new guy. Dude, the new guy is cool as fuck, man. Super fucking cool. He like authorized my fucking trip to Las Vegas where I turned fucking 22 on my birthday. And this motherfucker said, and this is no fucking bullshit. I had to go to one, like the day before we left, I had to do all this shit. I had to write a letter to a judge. I had to do all this fucking shit and get it okayed. And they okayed it, so I had to come in and sign like the okay papers. And so I came in, signed. It was this. I had to do it. It was like the day before I left. So I came in, I signed the fucking papers, and he goes, "All right." He goes, "Now, I'm not saying this is totally off the record, but you know what they say. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So, have a good time." And I was like, oh shit! I knew right then I would give him a shout out, but I don't know. I don't know what he's doing these days, and I would hate for this to ever come out and be like someone's like, yeah, he was definitely violating his job. I can't imagine. He was too nice of a fucking guy to be still there, and that was 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like 08, 09 is when I got off probation. Well, I can't remember if it was 08. I think it was 09. I think it was early 09 I got off probation. So it was boy, that was but he was a cool ass dude, man. And then he's the one who was like, he knocked my shit down. They denied my early release once I hit 4 years. He put in for early release. They denied my early release due to severity of crime. And then he was like, how about we do this instead of every 2 weeks? He was like, we'll do it for every once a month. And I was like, all right, cool. He goes, so look at it this way. You only got to come here 12 more times. And I was like, cool. And that was it. And I ran my fucking sentence out and we shook hands and that was the end of it. But I don't really know where this whole story came from of me reminiscing about having fun drinking. And I was just talking to Billy the fucking Marine last night for a long ass time about how fucking drugs and alcohol, like no matter what, the balance was never there and just never got me anywhere. So rest in peace, Jamie. Rest in peace, fucking Gary. Rest in peace, everybody. Rip. Love you guys. I started real late. Right now it's 10:53, so I gotta shut this down and get the fuck in there. Shout out to Machine Studio. Always, I love them. Shout out everybody. I love you guys. I got a late start. I almost forgot to do this shit, but it's late, but I got it. So I love you guys. I'm out of here. Stay tuned for the rebranding, and I don't know. We'll see what else we come up with. Rip.